So here we are, me and Thomas Sheridan. We've just finished, almost on the end now, of the AV9 conference Ian Crane put on. And I must say, he's done a fantastic job. It's been absolutely... As usual, always. I actually think he don't get enough credit for what he does.
I think it's the best conference in the world.
Yeah, yeah.
Of its kind, it's the best in the world.
Yeah, yeah. And we've definitely felt some really big changes this year in the mood of people. It seems like no matter what information that we get to hear, and some of it can be quite dark. We always, I don't know, we always seem to meet up in the bar afterwards and laugh and talk about it, and you know, almost transmute that anger that you could have and all that trauma into something humorous and actually come up with solutions. So I think that's what's changed this year. People are deciding, coming up with answers, and people are feeling a lot more better about themselves. You know, it's almost like people, we've changed, we've grown up. I think everybody's grown up.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
When I did the first one 5 years ago, and it was probably what you would call your typical truther thing, and it's changed a lot. People have sort of calmed down on a lot of that, and there's a lot more kind of people finding things to do with it. Like, what can I do to solve it, rather than just hearing the bad information?
Actions and solutions.
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
And it settles people down.
Yeah, and there's been lots of fun. We've been like, there's been you know, when I came out to do my presentation last night, it was like walking into a morgue. It was like kind of upsetting, and when I got up on the stage, it was like, and I said, I better tell a good few jokes, you know, stuff. It was like a spring unwinding. And then everyone was laughing and having a good time. Yeah. And that chap Benny from America, from Las Vegas, he was fantastic today, getting everyone in a good mood.
Put it in a light mood at the end. Yeah, yeah. It was fantastic. I mean, not just saying this because you're here, Thomas, because you know I wouldn't do that, but we've been talking, quite a lot of us, and I feel that the speech that Thomas put on, the talk that Thomas did, was absolutely fantastic. Like you said, it was like everybody's been saying it's like someone lifted a corkscrew and undone it, and the steam come out, and everybody just feel the energy of the room, and everybody talks about it. You actually have people crying with laughter, you know, and it was the best one. If I had to pick one that I had to pick from this weekend, it would be yours.
Yeah, you know, people say when the video comes out.
Yeah, and everybody's been coming up to you and saying the same. We were sat there last night. You're like a magnet because of that talk last night. You become a magnet, and it was just a massive table. Yeah. We sit in the bar till like nearly 3 a.m. You know, it was ridiculous, really, with all the stuff we've been doing. But yeah, and you know, like you say, it was. You know, people have found ways to actually put it into action, and I think that comes back to what we say quite often. Yeah. You and I often speak, you know, on Facebook about actually, you know, it's no good just sharing awareness and doing that. You need to actually see what you can actually physically do about something, and then do it. And then you need to take away that emotional attachment.
I made a video yesterday. It's on my open source Occult TV channel, and I said, and it wasn't a bad video. I was just saying the same thing. I was enjoying just before my talk in the morning, and I just said I felt there was a bit of a Christian coup going on. There was a lot of people talking about that kind of thing, and it was starting to sound like more like an American conference. And I have to say, it didn't affect anything. The people who were pushing it, I mean, I'm not going to name them, but I got on well, and even though they didn't hold anything against me, I didn't hold anything against them. You know, they just accepted your belief is one thing. You're a pagan, I'm a Christian, and that's the end of it. Yeah. And there was none of this kind of nastiness or anything. In fact, it was quite the opposite. And it was very mature, and everyone was playing the ball and not playing the man. And even like, well, I'll say Brian Garish, and I mean, Brian is quite a Christian man. And I have to say, I got on better with him than I have in years. You know, me and Brian, not that we've ever fallen out, but there's definitely, we're two different people. Yeah. And he was in good form yesterday, and it was good. It was just nice to see that, you know. Yeah. You know?
I think you're right on that. I mean, for me, what I seen was the acceptance of different points of view. There was nobody arguing. Like you say, it's almost a growing up, like an evolution. Years ago, especially when you for want of a better term, waking up, you know, especially when you go through your awakening, you can be quite annoying, you can be quite aggressive, you can push facts on people who don't need it, and after a while you go through it and you let people come to you, and you let people be as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's changed this year.
Yeah.
I think there used to be people who would come here believing in a certain ideology or religion, and they wouldn't let anybody else have their. It was almost like if anybody put that down, they felt traumatized. But this year is like they listen to it and they actually get in dialogue with you. Oh yeah. So you're a pagan and they'll be a Christian. And so, oh yeah, I'm a Christian, you know, or something like that. And you know, or even beliefs on what's going on within the system, you know, within the country. You know, it seems like everybody's accepting of ideals and do entertain it for a moment. And I think that's really healthy. The fact that people will entertain it and just see what it is, and
I enjoyed all the presentations.
Yeah.
Even the ones that I wouldn't have been my scene, I still enjoyed them.
Yeah.
And that, you know, and also a lot has to do with Ian and Nicola and Kelly. They do a fantastic organisation. It's so professionally run.
Yeah.
And the lads, like the guys who did the technicians and stuff and the security, it's a great crew.
Yeah.
You know, that like it's really professionally run, but it's like a family kind of vibe.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. You feel that, and on a wider scale, you know, we are like one big family. There was a lot. I was really pleased to see so many new people.
Yeah, I'd say about
when they said put your hands up, and I was like, that's at least a third, if not more.
I thought it was close to a half.
Yeah.
And a lot of people from Scotland for some reason.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah.
I wonder how that got to do with the referendum, or you wonder.
Yeah.
But I haven't heard so many Scottish accents in years.
Yeah, same. Yeah, they never usually come, you know, down this far down into
in that numbers.
Yeah, unless it's work related. But
it's a long way from Scotland to here.
Yeah. And everybody, you know, you can hear them in the background now. There's not many people left really from the conference, but you know, everybody's just getting on so well still after all this, all the information and the whole weekend, and very busy. You know, we should be quite agitated, really, lack of sleep, you know, things, but we seem to be riding on that sort of wave of the weekend and meeting, you know, people who will listen to us. Yeah. You know, when you sit there, you gather a crowd. You know, I find the same sometimes myself. You know, you're always got these people around you, and you share so much information. Last night I could have gone to bed at 10 o'clock easily. And
the important thing was, if you've never been to a conference like this, you should come. I'll tell you why. At the end of the night, we don't spend time talking about what we saw that day. We're having conversations about art, pirates, Spanish Armada.
It was fantastic, yeah.
Rock and roll, bands, everything like that.
Yeah.
And so the evening talks were not related to the stuff that went on during the day. And brilliant conversations in the evening that went on to like last night with the 3 a.m.
Yeah.
What was the last thing we were talking about last night? It was good though, but it wasn't anything to do with this.
Yeah. Well, basically, I think everybody started asking you questions about mythology and history of certain figures, and you know, and you were just on a roll. And I was there at 10 o'clock, and I could have gone to bed. I could have easily shut my eyes and instantly fallen asleep. And then I just found myself. I thought, this is a moment here. Like, we're having that moment, and all the information from everybody, and because we were all...
And also magic was exploding everywhere.
Yeah.
There's synchronicities. And I'm not trying to say my work, my sorcery book did it, but everyone was saying, I started reading your book, and look what happened.
Yeah.
And David, the musician guy from Scotland.
Fantastic.
Did you see his video of Chris Martin from Coldplay playing his tabla?
No.
And he said that he wanted to get a top rock star to play one of his instruments, so he started doing like a kind of a magical meditation in his mind, and he showed me the video day of Chris Martin from Coldplay playing his. So it was like the whole vibe was like that magic was coming true.
So many people talking about synchronicities, which just shows that when you go into your subconscious mind and you start letting go of the trauma, that's when you start, you start feeding from that field, and you start recognizing and becoming aware of things that are joint to everything around you. It's like the universe aligns with you in a way, you know. It's quite liberating, and you know, I know that a lot of people were coming up with their synchronistic stories. You know, they were actually sharing these stories with us, like you said.
What would you like to see for AV10? like different that we haven't had so far?
I would like to see. I'm not saying that I'm anti-trauma, but I think there was a lot of speakers in a row that were almost bringing the vibe down. Like you said, if you weren't there as a pressure release, I think people were in tears outside.
Yeah.
You know, I had ladies coming up, and I can't stay out there. People are in tears after they're in the last talk, and it would be so because there was so much evidence of so many wrongs going on.
Yeah.
You know, and people were sharing, and it has to be seen. But I think we need to. It'd be nice to see a little bit of comedy mixed in with those talks.
I would like to see something like spiritually radical. Now, I'm not saying we have no say in this, but like, say you'd hear people using the comment Satanist. I'd love to see something like a Satanist on the stage, talking about his or her world as a Satanist.
Yeah.
And you know, just for
see how accepting that everybody.
Just for the it'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
I'd also like to see, and again, it's not up to us, but something like more entertainment, like maybe like one of those like avant-garde circus acts that do strange magic tricks or stain.
Yeah.
That would be a great thing to have between the things, like some there's those some crazy circus type acts that are around.
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
Yeah. I'd love to see that too. Yeah, I mean, I've when I think about next year, is like you say, it's not really in our hands to a degree. It's just going to happen. But I got a feeling with the vibes that we have here now, and everything that's going on, I think it's going to be step in the right direction, like more free, for a bit more freedom next year. It's not going to be. I've got this optimistic feeling.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes you can feel quite pessimistic about life and about the future, but I don't know. Every year it seems to progress to something a bit more liberating.
Well, this year the atmosphere was like really friendly and really buzzing. You know, there was, but in general, I don't know if it was this incredible weather we've had. Maybe it was that, but there was something different. There was something a less tense than there usually was. No, I mean, not that it is tense.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of there was a lot more fun.
Yeah.
And the evenings.
Yeah.
And it might have to do, you never know, astrological things, but this month of May in 2018, there seems to be an abundance of energy, cosmic or psychic energy, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And I definitely think it's washed over this place.
And you can actually see those patterns in nature as well, because I've never seen so many birds, not just here, where I live, bees, birds, it's just... Everything seems to be coming back alive, you know.
Yeah.
The amount of flowers, and even in my own garden, which is in the city now, you know, the grass isn't just grass with the odd dandelion and buttercup. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. It's just you know, and that's what I've seen here as well. It's everything's in full bloom. It's different. Something's different. And I feel like we're moved past something.
I saw a jay yesterday morning. I don't think we even have jays in Ireland. A beautiful blue jay. I've never seen. Well, maybe they do, but I've never seen a blue jay in my life, and I saw one yesterday, and that was like mind blowing for me.
Yeah. I also think it was good. Like I go back to your talk again because I think it was a pivotal moment in the weekend. Because when you come on, like you say, it was like a letting off of steam, but also you could have triggered so many people in that audience if they were unstable in any way. With, you know, because it's good to sort of try and bring people back to, you know, take the mick out of everything.
Yeah, well,
even yourself.
Oh, big time, yeah.
Yeah.
And I even said at the beginning, this is going to be a positive presentation.
Yeah.
I put the cards right on the table, and it was.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was going to be, but
yeah,
it was. It shows the power of information, doesn't it? You know, like. It really does show the power, but then again, people loved it. There's a lady driving back, I think, to Inverness tonight. What's that? It's like 900 miles, isn't it?
Yeah.
And she said she didn't want to leave. She was so happy here.
Same, yeah,
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. I forget the lady's name now, but she had a 5-hour trip back, and she said she didn't want to go. She's just got home now, but she just didn't want to go. Like there's something like dragging her back all the time. I mean, I was supposed to have left. You know, early this morning, maybe after your workshop, But I just can't, you know, there's something about it. I just want to stay here while everybody's out and having fun.
It's pleasant grounds.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's the heart of England. It's beautiful here. And even the cows in the field are so friendly and happy. And you know, the beauty of nature is so accessible here. Even though it's a formal garden and a working farm, it doesn't feel artificial. It feels very...
it flows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like some of those trees are ancient.
Yeah.
Like those Chestnut tree is probably hundreds of years old.
Yeah, they actually got numbers on them. Did you see the numbers that they've got on them? Yeah, so they're obviously logged somewhere as a
heritage tree.
Yeah, yeah, and this is the number of it, you know, and so it's registered, which I never nearly did that, but it must do. So, yeah, I mean, the squirrels everywhere and they're running around now.
And the elder trees over there are starting to bring, the flowers are coming in, and you know that smell. You ever know the smell from the elder bark?
Yeah,
you know, it's kind of like a fibrous bark.
Yeah.
And it's just, that to me is like such a comforting smell.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying it was lovely just to be out here, because obviously a lot of us, we live in the city, and you know, it's very hard to escape that and actually get out into nature. But to come here, and the amount of people who were coming out and said, oh, and it's lovely, you know, like that smell of fresh rain, you know, when you have rainfall for the first time in a long time, and you get that lovely smell. It's the same thing, you know. Yeah, it's been a real. I feel like something's changed in me this weekend.
I definitely have for me.
Yeah. Something's. I feel like I've moved into a different stage of my life or something, you know. Whether it'll last past this weekend or no, I don't know.
Well, life has to go on, and you have to go back to the real world. But the important thing is that these are almost like portals. You know, that's why you should go to these things, because they're respites from real life.
Yeah.
And they're almost mythological in the sense that you're exposed to the bad shadow and you're exposed to the light, and it's up to you to resolve it. And there is nothing more healthy for your psyche than that.
Yeah. I think that's a good place. Bye bye everybody.